Hi guys, it's me UB programmer and this is update 3 of this ubml tool. Basically it's a Python package, my custom Python package which I am developing for automate the machine learning process, right? So I have started working on the documentation also, which is live on readthedocs.io with the ubml subdomain. And if you just getting started, yeah, you get an error or something like that, you can mail me or WhatsApp me. Then for the installation, it's really simple, just pip install ubml and you will get it on your system, right? Now let's see the automation part. And with this third update, our model is now able to train automatically on our dataset and export the model also. Now let's see in the code. First of all, let me just see. Yeah, so we have the regression module here, and import statement for that is from ubml.train test import regression train test, right? And this is the usage, and I will try to link also the uh, examples also, so this documentation will be updating time to time. And parameters are all these, so xtrain and ytrain, these are output from the train test split, as you do in every project, right? Then there is metric export best. If it's true, it will export it as a pickle file for your model. And then path, and these are the returns of your uh, module. Now let's see in the code. So if I just run it, so what we are doing is importing the pandas and train time split from the sklearn, right? And here we are just testing the regression problem. So we have car dataset in which we are trying to predict the car price. So the selling price is we are trying to predict based on multiple parameters, right? Then we have our these four data frames from the train test split of sklearn, right? Now the main part, the ubml, what is trying to offer is automation, right? So we are importing this regression train test from this ubml, and when we are implementing it, we are getting two things. One is the metric performance and the other is best model. So what is best model performing on my dataset, so it will automatically just choose that, right? And so you can see regression train test, and the arguments are xtrain, ytrain, and xtest and ytest, right? Really simple. So let's just execute it, and let's see the first uh, return value which we are getting, metric performance. So you can see we are getting all the metrics outputs for all these different algorithm: linear, lasso, ridge, SVR, decision tree, random forest, right? And all these in one single command, right? Then we also get the best model. So what is the best model on this dataset? And the best model is random forest regression. Why is that? Because it's giving me the best R2 score on the validation set. So on the testing data, the random forest is performing the best with 98% accuracy, right? And this metric, like R2 score or mean square, you can just change it by saying this metric argument, right? And by default it is taking the R2 score as I have specified here, but you can change the metric, right? Okay, now let's see how we can export our model, so it's not exporting, it's exporting. Yeah, so how we can export the model in a single command? Just it is really the same command here, but a little you can say switch on, which is export best is equal to true. And if we try to execute it, you will see we will get our model best model.pkl, right? It's a pickle object, so you get it in one click, right? Then you are just trying to load and predict it. So for loading the model, we have also one command. So from ubml.trainTest import the load model, and in the load model, what is the argument? It's the name of our the file which we created from here, right? So in the model object, now I have my model, right? I can use this to do predictions. Now let's see by doing a prediction. So this was the dataset of ours, right? So it has year selling price is our target. We are trying to predict the selling price, right? And these are all the other parameters on which basis we are trying to predict a selling price actually, right? And to predict, now we are importing from ubml.trainTest import a predict module, and what this will do is just take first argument as the model, right, as the model pickle object, and the second argument will be a list of inputs, and we are giving this row, this first row, or you can say the second row of our data set. So we have excluded these car names, so this was not in the training process, so that's why we are not passing them out, right? And the selling price, we have detected it from this list because that's what we are trying to predict, right? And then when we execute it, so you can see we are getting 5.12, which is quite similar or near to 4.75, the actual selling price, and the predicted one is 5.12, which is acceptable within 98% accuracy, right? So in one click you can do prediction, right? Now we have in the documentation, if I just show you, so we have this model train test module which will just can perform the regression or classification on the basis of user choice. Let me just show you. So we are importing it, and here we have an argument called mode which we can use to specify whether we are trying to do the regression or classification. So it's the same, we are doing regression, and you can see by passing these train test data frames we are getting these similar results, right? Now let's test for the classification. So there is a data set of heart patient disease, so whether you are a heart patient or not, that's what we are trying to predict here. We got our 4 data frames from the train test applet. Now we will import from ubml.trainTest import classification train test, and it's basically the same procedure, the 2 values you will get, and you will just pass out all these parameters, and when you execute it, let me just, yeah, okay, I have to prepare the dataset first. Yep, so logistic regression is the best model, so we are printing that, and the metric performance is here, you can see that, right? And this was the dataset, and I want you to know that you can just change this path for saving your model, so you can name your file anything you want, so best model can be named as anything you want, right? And then you have the option to export a specific model, like you want to export knn, so you can just use this argument by export model is equal to this string, right? So that was it for the updates tree. I hope you like it. I will meet you in the next update. Thanks for watching.